husband's Russell Williams, aka Dexter, and he's a lineman. And we have 2 children, Connor and Katie. Connor's 5, Katie's 4.
Okay.
And we have 2 dogs, Duke and Mason.
My name is Tara Chapman.
Okay.
And my husband Nick works for Carroll EMC. And we have 2 beautiful children. Ryan is 3 and Walker is 2.
I'm Beverly Webb and my husband is Corey. We have 3 children.
My oldest son is an lineman here at Carroll EMC. He's been here about to start his 8th year as a lineman at Carroll EMC.
He does underground work, transformer work that's underground, overhead, the security lights, and I mean from anything that's simple to anything that's extreme. Right now this year I believe he's on the bigger crew that does the bigger services.
He's a lineman, and from what I can tell, he definitely goes above and beyond because he loves his job.
Okay. What, as a lineman, what's he do day in and day out?
Probably tell everybody what to do. That's just what he likes to do, but and he's always right. He's never wrong. So, saying that, climb poles and work out of the bucket.
Nick is a lineman for the co-op.
Okay.
I don't know what level that, I don't know what level, like, you know, there's levels. Like, he'll be a journeyman next year, but I don't know what level he
Okay. So what does he, as a lineman, what does he do?
He restores power to the people.
And he has been at Carroll EMC for about 25 years now. He's a line foreman. He's one man that loves his job. Most people don't like going to work. Corey Webb loves going to work every day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He's a hard worker, and I think when disaster strikes, you know, you lose a lot and your power kind of affects a lot of things. So to know that he's out there and he's helping people that may have children our age, I couldn't imagine my children being without power, and then, you know, being in flooded areas and things that he has done in the past. So I think it's very important because we depend so much on power, and they're out there doing it no matter the situation. So I think that's pretty awesome.
I'm proud because he knows he's accomplished something and he's helping people out, and that is a good attribute to have, helping people out, and he feels good about it, and so therefore I do too.
Seeing him go to work and make other people happy, going out in the community, serving others, everybody wants their power on. When your power's off, no one's happy.
Absolutely, I'm very proud of what he does.
That he might not come home and be the loving, dedicated father and husband that he is.
Safety. I mean, is he going to come home? I never want to have to tell my kids that their dad's not coming home because he got hurt on the job. He's our rock and we depend on him, so he's got to stay safe.
Probably like a lot of wives, is my husband going to make it back home without that fear of being electrocuted?
That something could happen to him. He's actually been in a flash burn before. So we have experienced what things like that can do to you, and it's unexpected. He was out of work for a couple weeks with that. We weren't sure if he was going to be able to see again. It was pretty bad at first, so it is scary.
It's always safety. I have another son, the younger son is the deputy sheriff, and I reiterate to both of them, I said, we're in dangerous lines of work. And I said, they're quite often taken for granted. I said, you should never take anything for granted when you leave. Not your family, not your co-workers, anything.
I worry about them all the time. They work nights and weekends. They are on the road driving vehicles. They're out in bad, inclement weather. I mean, it's raining today, and we've got people scattered all over the system driving around in vehicles. And you hope they're being safe. You hope they're driving safely. It's not just about the electricity side. It's about, you know, the everyday exposures that we ask people to be involved in for the company.
Every time he walks out that door, especially on storms, it does make us a little nervous, but he just tells our kids that this is his job and he has to go take care of the people who don't have power, and because they're a little concerned too. They want him to stay at home, but this is his job and he has to go help others.
When I'm at home safe in my bed and it's thundering and lightning and the wind is blowing and he gets a call and he has to leave, and I remember the first time he ever got called out, I was like, you have to go work in this? Well, yeah, Tara, people have to have their power on. And I think, so I think anytime they're out, I mean, there's not a specific time. I think it's the same every time. Because I think people forget that your power's out, but there are men out there who are working in this weather in between a lightning bolt to try to restore power.
It only takes one bad incident to make the incident be bad from now on, or to lose a life.
What's the second worst thing that could happen?
That I'd have to take care of him for the rest of our lives. No, I'm just kidding.
Kind of do that anyway, right?
No, but that he wouldn't be able to see our children grow up and enjoy those times. Life just wouldn't be the same without Russell, aka Dexter.
Well, the safety environment at Carroll EMC, I'd say, is second to none from the standpoint of how they reiterate safety and reinforce it to people and to the employees.
When he started EMC, the first event that we ever went to, I believe it was a million safety hours or something, and we went and I thought, wow, I'd never heard of a company celebrating safety, but after 10 years of being in that company, I see now why they do. I can't thank them enough for that.
I mean, you don't want anybody to get hurt at work and cause an accident for not only that person to be hurt, but anybody else. I mean, if they're working on the lines and somebody forgets to, say, hey, I cut the line off or whatever, and they're working on it while it's hot, they could get electrocuted. Anybody could get hurt. So yes, it's very important. I think that we do a good job of making sure people know how important that is.
Wes first came on with the company. One day he and I were doing some work there at home, and I mentioned to him, grab that pair of gloves and, we'll unload whatever it is. He said, I don't wear gloves. And I stopped and looked at him. I said, son, you're in the wrong line of work to give that kind of an answer. He was a young guy. He blew it on off. He went on out there. Coincidentally, just a few short days later, he corners me and he said, we were out on a job site, and he said, my supervisor, the crew I was with, told me, he said, we man, get your gloves, come over here, and I want you to do this. He was a groundman at the time. I said something to the supervisor, well, I'm not going to wear my gloves for that. And the supervisor called him out and said, well, just sit down over there. Lunchtime came around. He said, we were all getting our lunches out there on the job site. Supervisor said, wait, man, I want you to go over and I want you to get your gloves out, put your insulated gloves on, put your leathers on over. He said, I had to eat lunch for several days, may have had to eat for the entire week with my gloves on. Every day it'd come time for lunch. He said, that guy had me putting on all my safety equipment and eating lunch. And I thought it was funny. I said, I owe that guy a thank you, a tremendous thank you for what he did, reinforcing that lesson. And I looked at him, I says, well, did you learn anything from it? He says, yeah, I did. He says, don't bring potato chips for lunch.
So I'd have to be nice because we're on video, right? Because if he was here.
We got a great editing software here.
Always be safe. Accidents never take a holiday. Safety should never take a holiday or a shortcut. Always take the time. And when we get injured or hurt in any line of work, it's because people have omitted some key safety step.
We need him and we love him and we want him to come home. We want him to come home safe. We want him to, he is an adventurous person, and we want him to be able to continue to enjoy those adventures because he's safe.
He needs to be safe, and he has got to come home because life wouldn't be the same without him, and we love him very much.
Anytime that we have a major storm, that there's going to be a sense of urgency to try to get the power back on, and sometimes when there is a heightened sense of urgency, there's also the temptation to take a shortcut or to try to get things done faster or to skip a step in a procedure. In our business, we can't afford to skip any steps. We can't afford to take any shortcuts. And you really have to remind people that safety's first. And then once we've got the safety aspect under control, then we'll worry about getting the lights back on. But never do we try to get the lights back on at the expense of safety.
When you walk out the door, you need to ask yourself, is this a good day to die? And if you can't look back at that and say, yeah, I'm willing to give my life up today, you better make sure you take the time to be extra cautious and extra safe.
Absolutely.
Why do you think so?
100%. I want my husband home with me at night.
Safety is a big deal there. You know, it's just a big deal everywhere, and it is very safe that we get him back, because we're a family, and you know he helps support this family. So if we didn't have him, it wouldn't work out great. No, not at all.
In my situation, there's a family at home depending on you, and we expect you to come home every day, and we expect to have our weekends, and we expect the bills to be paid, and you know, we expect to live together for a very long time. I can't think of a better reason that safety is important than that right there.
Yes, because I know that this is what he loves to do, and it would kill him if he couldn't do this. If he was injured, a life-threatening, or just that he hurt a part of his body, I know that would he would hate that.
I just would hate for somebody's family member to get hurt and even die like they got Georgia Power, you know, working on that line and drilled into a gas line. And I mean, that's got to be the worst thing I think I've ever heard. It's pretty bad.
It's a very family-oriented company. The lineman lifestyle is in essence a lifestyle, like the fire service is a lifestyle and public safety is a lifestyle. We all know each other, and it's a thing that you can develop a real close personal relationship among team members, among co-workers, and realizing that how essential and how much we all depend upon each other in this line of work.
He was going to Mississippi for 5 days just last week, and the first day that he was gone, it was bedtime. And my kids, they're 2 and 3. They don't understand the concept of the time of day quite yet. And so we were on our way home, and my little girl said, "Is Daddy gonna be home when we get there?" And I said, "No, baby, he's out of town, but you know he'll be home." So I never want to lie to my kids, but he's helping people that don't have power. So we get home, and then it gets bedtime, and she's just sobbing when we go to bed. And she wanted her daddy there to tuck her in and to read her a story and to come home. So I always want to know that he's coming home. There you go.
Thank you for being safe and protecting each other.
Thank you for being safe and protecting my dad.
And for protecting my husband.
And protecting my son.
Thank you
For being safe.
For being safe.
for being safe.
We are
We are
We are
We are Carroll EMC.
Carroll EMC.
Carroll EMC.
Carroll EMC.
Carroll EMC.
We are Carroll EMC.